Why do some small business owners get this steady stream of referrals flowing into their business, while others, they get nothing, even though they're doing virtually the same amount of networking? The answer isn't necessarily talent. It can be just a single shift that you make in the way that you show up. In the next 6 minutes, I'm going to show you why givers build referral pipelines that can compound for years, while takers, they just burn out their network in a matter of months, and the specific way to give that actually is going to generate business back for you. By the end, you're going to know how to walk into your next meeting with a completely different mindset, one that actually does the work for you. Now, there's a pattern that I've seen played out over and over before. Maybe two business owners, they start networking, perhaps even at the same time. Same industry, similar skill level, and they're both showing up to the same meetings. One of them, a little bit later, they're starting to get referrals flowing in. The other one is still wondering, why isn't any of this working? What's intriguing is, on the one hand, you have the one who's been super successful in getting referrals. The other hand, you have someone who's not. And so it begs the question, what's the difference? Why is this one getting referrals and why is this one not getting referrals? And I've seen that it's the same issue over and over and over. The one who's been successful in getting referrals from other people has figured out, either intentionally or unintentionally, they've figured out that the best way to get referrals is to give value to others first. And here's why that matters more than it might sound. If you walk into a networking conversation and you're looking for what you can get, maybe I want a client, I need a new lead, I want an introduction to that person across the room. The person across from you, the people you're talking to, they're going to feel it immediately. Now, what's interesting is, even though people can feel that, they can't necessarily put words to what it is they're feeling. But that feeling comes in and it makes them uncomfortable, and they oftentimes won't even want to be around the people who are just looking to get. When that happens, they start locking down. They stop offering, they stop sharing, they give you the short version of who they are and what they do, and all they're trying to do is wrap up the conversation and figure out a way to sneak away or to escape or to run off or to push you off to somebody else. However, when you walk into a room and all you're doing is looking for ways you can give value to other people, maybe you can share what you know about the industry. Maybe you know somebody that you can connect these two people together. Maybe it is that you have an idea on how they could promote themselves in a new way. Whatever it is, when you're looking to help solve problems for all the people around you, something completely different happens. These people, they're going to open up. They're going to tell you what they actually need. And even more important, they're going to remember who you were a week, a month, a year later. And then oftentimes somebody will come into their world, their circle of influence, needing your help. And you're still top of mind for them. Now, what's really cool is this is more than just a way to make yourself and others feel good. This is a way that actually has real mechanical value. Givers get referred because they're memorable for all the right reasons, not the wrong ones. And those takers who are just grabbing from everyone, they get less and less referrals because nobody wants to attach their reputation to somebody who cares only for themselves. Now, here's a spot many business owners can get wrong. They hear give first, and they think it means be generous in these vague, warm, squishy kind of ways. Maybe I should just smile more, or be helpful if it's convenient, or I'm going to just walk around complimenting people. And that's not quite what I'm talking about here. That kind of giving, it's good, and people will appreciate it and like it, but it's also just fluff. It's probably not going to actually move the needle on everything. It's probably not going to actually move the needle on anything for people. What actually works is being specific, valuable, and being unsolicited. When I say specific, I mean you're going to be very specific to a problem someone has, or a concern they have, or the situation they're in, the information, the knowledge, the expertise, all of that ties very tightly into where they're at in their business and their life. Saying things like, let me know if I can help. That's not what we're talking about. That phrase is pretty much useless. Nobody's going to follow up on that. Instead, you listen to what they're actually saying and you think, it sounds like they might be stuck on this. Let's dig a little bit deeper and see if I can provide value there. Now, value means something is going to cost you, and it might not be money. It could be your time, it could be your attention, maybe a real introduction to someone in your network. Maybe it's a piece of work you're going to do for them for free. If it costs you nothing, it's probably worth nothing as well. Now, unsolicited means you're going to do this for them before they ask. So you're going to volunteer to do this. You're going to volunteer to make that introduction. You're going to volunteer to say, hey, I've got this great idea. What if you, and you just share it as a concept. They ask you to do that, and you don't put any strings on it. You're not going to be like, well, if I help you with that, will you? No, you don't put strings. It's just this, here, let me give you this gift. And when you do that, people often, there will be some who will just want to take from you because there are takers. But we all have that sense, and you'll be like, oh, I'm not a taker, and then you can move. But for most people, they're going to want to reciprocate back towards you when you do actually give them things of value and help them. Let's talk about what this could actually look like in real life. Maybe you're sitting down with a real estate agent, and she mentions her website hasn't been updated in 3 years. And she knows it's actually hurting her business. The taker would say, yeah, I do websites. Let me send you a proposal. The giver would be like, let's take a look right now. I'm not going to charge you anything. We'll just do this, see what you could fix, and then you'll have some good ideas of what you can do when you're ready to actually make changes on your site. Now, if you're that real estate agent, which person would you remember? The one who's just jumping at an opportunity to give you a bid? Or the one who said, let me give you ideas of what you could improve with no expectation of you doing anything with my business or for my business in return? Now, a word of warning, giving shouldn't just be a tactic that you employ. The minute you start tracking who owes you what, and you're thinking, well, I gave them this and I gave them that, and you start stewing on that, it's going to destroy you. Giving's not a tactic where it's I give you, you give me. Giving is I'm going to do good because I know that it will help others, and I expect that over time, maybe I'll give to this person over here and someone totally different is somehow, in some way, it'll come back to me. But you don't ever keep score. In fact, the benefit of giving should be the knowledge that you helped someone and that genuine satisfaction you get from lifting or believing that you're lifting those around you. If that is your primary motivation and the thing that really keeps you going and giving more and more and more, you're going to be in a position where giving actually works. Let's do a quick test and see if you're already implementing this into your life. Think back to your last 5 networking conversations. Of those last 5, how many ended or during the conversation did you give something specific to someone else? If you can remember maybe 3 or 4 or 5, awesome. You're probably already applying this. If you're at 0, 1, or 2, there's plenty of room for improvement. But one problem people often face is, who do you give to? We can't give everything to everyone all the time. There's not enough of us for that. So our next question is figuring out who actually belongs to this inner circle of people, these referral partners that you're going to be constantly giving to, because if you give to the wrong people, you could also be generating exactly nothing. This is part of a series I'm doing on building a referral engine for your small business. If you want to catch the next one, hit subscribe and turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.